My fork was still in midair when she said it. A joke, light, careless, too quick, meant to sting just enough to entertain the table. But her sister's smirk, that wasn't a joke. And the way she dragged her chair closer, knees brushing mine, letting her fingers tap the table in a rhythm only my wife recognized. That was the moment everything snapped into place. My wife thought I'd recoil. She expected me to laugh awkwardly, make her look clever, superior, married to the man she could mock freely. But when I didn't flinch, when I just looked at her sister with a measured, unreadable calm, my wife's smile died on her lips. I didn't say a word. I didn't have to, because silence is where the guilty start confessing. My wife and I used to be a tame, or at least I thought we were. In the early years, she looked at me like I was the one person who made her feel safe in a room full of people who demanded too much from her. We built a life, brick by brick, plans, accounts, vacations, inside jokes whispered under blankets at midnight. But small changes crept in, shifts in tone, private smiles at her phone she quickly tucked away, snapping at me for things she once found funny. And the worst part, she treated me like I was slow to understand her world. She forgot who she married. She forgot I study people for a living. She forgot I notice things, tiny, insignificant things, until they form a pattern sharp enough to cut. The betrayal didn't reveal itself in some dramatic flash. It was quieter, a misaligned timeline, a too familiar comment from her sister about a restaurant I'd never been to with her. My wife's phone buzzing at midnight with a name she claimed belonged to a coworker. Yet, her sister's face turned crimson when I casually mentioned it weeks later. The two of them, my wife and her younger sister, weren't just close. They were conspiratorial, finishing each other's sentences, spending extra girl nights, sharing glances they thought I couldn't decode. The laughter at dinner wasn't the beginning, it was confirmation. And that night, lying beside the woman who thought I was asleep, I listened to her soft breathing and felt the shift inside me, the pivot from wounded to cold. I didn't confront her. People lie best when they think they're safe, so I let her feel safe. Revenge doesn't start with rage, it starts with paperwork. While she slept in, I met with our financial advisor and separated everything that could be separated. While she left for yoga, I consulted an attorney, one who specializes in strategic dissolution, high conflict family cases, and asset protection. I installed a small silent camera in my home office, the one room she never entered while I was gone. Not pointed at the desk, pointed at the doorway to see who walked in, who lingered, who searched, and her sister did twice. I saved the footage. I saved everything. I studied my wife's tells the way one studies a foreign language. How her voice softened before she lied. How her jaw tightened when she tried to keep a secret from escaping. I gathered receipts, screenshots, location logs, even bank activity tracing her girls' trips to hotels with only one reservation, but two entree charged to the room. By the time her birthday approached, I had more than enough. But revenge is an art form. Timing is the frame. Her family always made her birthdays theatrical. Big dinner, long speeches, the kind of night people dress up for and secretly dread. I arrived early, wearing the calmest face I owned. Her sister arrived fashionably late, hair curled, lips red, eyes avoiding mine. My wife kept glancing between us like she expected sparks or disaster. Both were correct. When dessert arrived, her father asked if anyone wanted to say something meaningful about the birthday girl. I stood. My wife's face lit up with that performative warmth she used when she thought I was still under her spell. Her sister sipped her wine too quickly. I pulled out a small envelope, her name written across the front. I brought something, I said. A hush settled. Family dinners thrive on gossip, but they live for revelations. She opened the envelope. Out slid photos, printouts of messages, hotel receipts, still frames of her sister creeping into my office while I was at work. At first, she frowned, unable to process it. Then, her eyes widened. Her pulse throbbed visibly in her neck. Her hand trembled around the paper. Her sister froze, breath catching, like she'd been punched in the ribs. I spoke softly, the way you talk to someone you no longer love enough to raise your voice at. You lied to me. You involved family, and you thought I wouldn't notice. My wife whispered my name, but it wasn't my name. It was a plea. The room was so silent you could hear her sister's wine glass tapping against the table from her unsteady grip. I placed the second envelope beside her. Plate. The divorce papers are inside, already signed on my end. Assets split exactly by law. Nothing dramatic. I'm not you. Her mother gasped. Her father stared at the table like he wished it would swallow him. And one more thing, I added. I turned to her sister. You tried to play both sides. You lied for her. You lied to her. You lied to me. Stay out of my life, both of you. My wife reached for my arm. I stepped away from her touch like it burned. She started crying. Not the soft, regretful kind. The panicked, collapsing kind. Like her world was finally catching up to her choices. Her sister sat rigid, eyes glassy, realizing she was collateral in a war she helped create. I didn't stay to watch the implosion. Revenge isn't complete when they suffer in front of you. It's complete when you walk away and let them crumble without an audience. I slept better alone that night than I had in years. There was no victory dance, no triumph, just release, like I had finally stopped holding a breath I didn't know I'd been suffocating under. People think revenge is loud, but real. Revenge is silent, measured, final. She thought she could mock me at her family table. She thought I was the safest person to betray. She forgot the truth. I am calm. I am patient. And I never strike first. I only strike